All right, movie people. I'm going to give a demonstration, a presentation of my movie collection. Basically, I've been downloading movies for, I don't know, the last 4 or 5 years at least. And I've kind of come to a point where I've mastered it and have found exactly the perfect website to go to where it's free, safe, and legal file sharing. I've been doing it off this same site for at least 3 or 4 years and never had any problems with any of the movies. They're all excellent quality coming from Blu-ray sources. There's a lot of other movies that I get that are super hard to find, like really old movies that just haven't been released on Blu-ray yet. Movies in those cases, they're going to come from DVD sources and from a separate website that I go to for those. They're still going to be plenty good quality for watching, just as good a quality as you're going to see on a DVD from any store you're going to buy. But like I said, if any movie has been converted over to a Blu-ray source, then the website that I go to is going to pick that up. Usually they get their sources from overseas because that's where movies are released first. And generally I get my new movies minimum 2 weeks to maybe as soon as 4 or even 5 weeks before they're available here in American stores like Best Buy and even Amazon, stuff like that. So basically what I do, this is the box for WDTV Live. It's a media player. This little box is going to give you access to do things like YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, Pandora, a lot of different crap like that, Facebook even, on your TV. It's simply a small little box. You can see this box right here. It has a hard drive plugged right into the front. Also a second hard drive plugged into the back. HDMI, optical, which I use optical because I have a Sony high definition 120-inch projector, as you can see right here. This right here shoots over to my screen. That's a 120-inch screen. And so I use an optical audio because obviously the projector, I'm not going to use those speakers. I'm going to use my surround sound speakers from my receiver and a bunch of speakers all around here. So basically this here is the magic box. It's not necessary. Many TVs already have USB outlets inside of them nowadays. So you actually can plug in the external hard drive directly into your TV and you'll still be able to watch your movies. In general, I like to use this media player just because it gives me a lot more functions, a lot more search features. Gives me a much better presentation so that it looks, basically I did a lot of custom work on this thing so that I can have it's even better than Netflix in my opinion, the way that it previews and shows all the different features as far as you can watch trailers on the movies, you can see the movie synopsis, you can search movies by its title directly, you can search by director, by actor, just a lot of different things you can do with this media player that makes it well worth it. These media players cost anywhere from $85 to $100 brand new at any Best Buy. And for all the stuff it does, it's well worth that one-time cost. My movies, like I said, I've got about somewhere between probably 3,500 to close to 4,000 movies by now. And they're all stored inside my 4 terabyte hard drive. I started with a 2 terabyte and then filled that thing up, then went to a 3 terabyte, filled it up, and now I'm at a 4 terabyte. And it still has probably enough room for another 3 years of movies if I'm downloading an average of probably 12 to 15 movies per month as far as new releases that, have gone from theater to Blu-ray. So I should be good on that one for the next 2 to 3 years minimum. Turn off our light so we can get the best picture here, and I'll give you a little presentation of how this thing works. So when we open this thing up, this is our display. We go straight to videos. You do have other services here. If you go to services, that's going to take you to Pandora, Facebook, YouTube, Netflix, stuff like that. But for this case, we're watching my external hard drive. So we go to videos. We click on our Seagate backup drive. I have a lot of other folders in here. I have some IMAX nature films, a whole bunch of stand-up comedians. There's got to be at least probably 200 to 400 guessing stand-up comedy specials in this thing. Here's our movies. And so if you're plugging it directly into your TV without the media player, then you're going to get these folders, which are, I've labeled them all based on decades. So you've got your 1900s, 1930s, your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, all the way up to your present day. Got our Disney movies. This one here, this hard drive is going to be a must-have for many parents that have kids because you're going to save a ton of money on never buying Disney movies again. Currently, I've got 238 Disney movies. And like I said, these all are going to be in excellent quality coming from Blu-ray sources, except for maybe just a few minimal that just haven't been released on Blu-ray and are only available from a DVD source. But there's not going to be a Disney movie that's not on this thing. Many of the movies, like theater movies like Aladdin, that also have even all their sequels and counterparts that went straight to video for many of these. A lot of hard to find things. So this is going to give your kids tons of time to watch these movies. Here's my favorite. You can easily fast forward to any point of the movie that you want. You can go to the hour, the minute, even up to the second. So let's go to 39 minutes into this movie.
The shark bait.
Shark bait! Ooh, Badu.
Okay, shark bait's one of us now. Agreed?
Agreed.
And we can't send him off to his death. Darla's coming in 5 days. So what are we gonna do? I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna get him up.
I don't hate you.
No. I'm so sorry.
There's Finding Nemo. As you can see, we got a good quality, good sound. I do run mine through surround sound and have a good speaker setup, but most people that like movies are going to have the same thing, so sound should never be an issue for you. As you can see, just tons of all your Disney movies. Now let's go over to our newer movies. As you can see, once we go inside this decade, we have each subfolder of each year specifically, 2010, 2011, 2012, all the way up to this year. And here's a movie, for instance. This is the new 300. I believe this just came out, or it's about to come out in a week. I just saw commercials for it coming out on Blu-ray. This movie I downloaded at least 3, maybe 4 weeks ago. So this is just one of the cases of a movie that I'm getting from a Blu-ray source overseas, a good 2 to 4 weeks before it's available even here in America. And everything is, going to be English. Just because it's coming from overseas doesn't mean that it's going to be a foreign language. It's going to have everything I watch, obviously, because it's for myself, is going to be American.
The oracle's words stand as a warning, a prophecy. Sparta will fall. All of Greece will fall. And Persian fire will reduce Athens to cinder. For Athens is a pile of stone and wood and cloth and dust. And as dust,
her entire family was murdered by a squad of Greek hoplites.
I have heard all the stories.
I know in some of these videos I do from my cell phone, there's probably going to be some pixelation from time to time. That has nothing to do with the video. The videos are crisp and clean the whole way through. If there's any pixelation in this video, it's because it's from a cell phone source. So we got, here's an example. Many of these movies that I have are going to have more than one version of it. For instance, Anchorman Part 2. You'll have your theater version, and then you'll have any other versions of movies that maybe they made extended versions or unrated versions, stuff like that. In general, I'm going to have both versions of these movies. You're going to have virtually every single movie that's come out into a theater, but you're also going to have a lot of movies that went straight to DVD, movies that were independent. For instance, this one, Joe, new Nicolas Cage movie. This one I believe they made just for Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. So even I got those movies. A super cheesy knockoff movie like this that went straight to DVD that you gotta love real crap movies to enjoy that, but I have that even for the people that love shitty movies. Here's an example of a movie: Kurt Russell, Matt Dillon, Jay Baruchel. This one released overseas in theaters, but not here in America. Here's a movie, Grand Budapest Hotel. This one, I haven't even seen a commercial yet for it to be released on Blu-ray yet, but I downloaded this one probably 3 weeks ago. So this is an example of a movie that I've picked up from overseas far before it comes out over here. And it's still going to have a great Blu-ray source. Quality is great. This is a Wes Anderson movie, comedy.
Well, hello there, chaps.
Documents, please.
With pleasure. It's not a very flattering portrait, I'm afraid. I was once considered a great beauty. What's the F stand for, Fritz? France.
France.
I knew it! He's making a funny face. That's a migratory visa with stage 3 worker status, France, darling. He's with me.
Come outside, please.
Now, wait a minute. Sit down, Zero. His papers are in order. I cross-referenced them myself with the Bureau of Labour and Servitude. You can't arrest him simply because he's a bloody immigrant. He hasn't done anything wrong. Stop it, man!
Another example, here's the Nicolas Cage movie, Tokarov, released overseas in theaters, but not here in America. Still not a problem. Got it in a Blu-ray source as well. So as you can see, go into any of these folders, you're going to have all the movies from that year. 144 different movies from 2012. 184 movies from 2013. 172 from 2011, so on, so on. And this goes all the way. You want to go into your 1980s, 1982, just pick a year. Here's all your movies from this year. So you're going to have a very difficult time finding a movie that's not in this hard drive. But even if somehow you think of one, it's very easy to go to the website that I provide you and find it and download it. And sure enough, it's on your hard drive. This is an interesting folder. This is called Fan Edits. Most people don't realize this, but there's a whole community of professional editors who basically go into different movies that they really enjoyed, or at least they hoped they would enjoy, such as Star Wars, or like the Star Wars prequels, where most people hated them because of Jar Jar Binks or the stupid cheesy dialogue, or just a lot of different movies that could have been good. And so what they'll do is they'll go in and they will professionally re-edit these movies, removing dialogue, even sometimes inserting special effects. I mean, these people, it's a whole community of people that are very talented at what they do. And you watch these movies, if you've never seen the original source, most of these you'd have no idea that it was re-edited by an amateur. It's really cool to watch some of these movies you maybe seen 10 times and watch it in a whole different light, like you're watching it for the first time. They'll do a lot of different creative things with these movies to just really make it their own. It's pretty cool. So I got 144 different versions of movies that you've seen or heard of that are re-edited to make for a whole different experience. Okay, so now if you hit a green button on this remote, you can go from folders to genre. And this is the best part about this media player, is all this custom work that I did is going to correlate a lot to this section, how I put every single movie into its own specific genre. So you got, as you can see, 45 different genres and subgenres: action, action thriller, action sci-fi, action comedy, it's your animation, comedy and all its subgenres, your dramedies, a lot of different stuff, comic book movies, dramas, Bible movies, biographies, thrillers, so on and so on. So, let's say you even got all your old classics, romance, old classic. These are going to be like your black and white, or most of your movies from the 60s and before. So, say you find a genre you want, science fiction blockbusters, you just click on it. There's going to be all the movies in that genre, 176 science fiction blockbusters. You just go in there and search and find. There's also an example of a Blade Runner having 3 different cuts of Blade Runner. I believe Watchmen is another one that has 3 or 4 different cuts. So, search your movies like this. And then the last thing you can do is there's a search button on the remote control. You can search by title. So say you know exactly what you want to watch, but you don't know what genre it's in or what year it was made. Go to that. It starts with, just type it out. Let's say Predator. As you start typing it, you'll see over on the right hand side you've got your Predator, Predator 2, Predators. Of course, we go with Predator, one of my favorite all-time movies. And goes right to it. Don't fuck with Action Jackson. You want it ugly, motherfucker.
Fue la selva que se lo llevó. ¿Qué más quieres que te diga?
She says the same fucking thing. The jungle, it came alive and took him. Billy, you know something. What is it?
I'm scared, Butcher.
Bullshit. You ain't afraid of no man.
There's something out there waiting for us.
It ain't no man.
And it ain't no man.
We're all gonna die.
We're all gonna die.
Classic. So you can search by title. You can search by director. So let's say we want to find Steven Spielberg movies. Start typing. STE. you can see, you normally don't got to spell out the entire thing. Over here on the right, you got Steven Spielberg. Click it. There you go. Now you got every movie that he's directed that's on the hard drive. 24 different movies. If you're an American, you like Raiders of the Lost Ark. And then, of course, you can do the same thing for actors as well. You can type in Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, whoever you want to type in, and do the same thing for you. So, I believe that's it. There's also, you can change your views. Let's go with this. Now, this is personally my favorite view, but you can change it. You can look at it like this. This is my second favorite view. This is going to give you so that you can see your title. You've got your movie synopsis. Tell you how long it is. Tell you the quality. Even gives you the rating on Internet Movie Database. So it's kind of a cool view. And another thing you can do, you can hit the info button and you can go down and you can actually watch the trailer. It pulls the trailer up from YouTube. Because the media player is Wi-Fi, it'll just pick up right off your network. I'm not connected right now, but once I reconnect this thing, then it'll pick up right off your Wi-Fi network, and you can watch the trailers for these movies straight from YouTube. So that makes it pretty cool as well. There's obviously 4,000 movies. There's going to be a lot of them that you never heard of. Not every single movie is going to have the trailer because it's based on YouTube, but the majority of them are because YouTube has just about everything. So I think that about wraps it up. If you have any questions, interest, if you just want to know how to do this for yourself, feel free to call, text me, or message me. If you're interested in actually having this entire foundation that I've spent hundreds of hours on doing, then contact me and I'll tell you how I can make a copy for you. And other than that, thanks for watching.